the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Starring that jetty Jerry O'Lace, Rocket J. Squirrel, and his pal, Bullwinkle the Moose.
Hi, glad to see you again.
Likewise.
We did some great things on the show today.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you ought to know, Bullwinkle. You're in some of them.
Well, let's get started.
Episode, you remember some mysterious strangers tied and gagged idiot moose and sneaky little squirrel.
They also tied and gagged your friendly neighborhood narrator.
Leaving only us bad guys, eh, fearless leader?
You say you got Hush-a-Boom formula from Moose?
You bet, he's on this tape recorder.
Let's hear it.
Okay. I got to consult your case with a lady doctor.
Hello, darling.
That's you, Natasha. Boys, me Dr. Biotic.
But antibiotic.
You guessed.
Bad enough if you think I'm here to listen to lousy puns, you...
Wait, here comes good part.
Oh, I keep up with the Kildares, you know, and NH3CO2U235 and a pinch of salt.
Oh, Bullwinkle, you did it.
There it is, fearless leader.
Marvelous. Bad enough I didn't know you had it in you.
You think you're dealing with kids or something?
Just for that, we are going to reduce your uncle's prison term to life.
You're too good, fearless leader.
And what's more, you could call me FL.
Wowee!
Now play that part back. I'll take notes this time.
Okay, FL.
Wait a minute, there's something else.
It's nothing, FL, just
Silence.
Wait till fearless leader hears this tape, Natasha.
Boris, you didn't turn off a machine.
Oh, boy. This tape will make even his ugly puss light up.
What was that?
I'll turn it back now.
No.
He is ugly, isn't he, Boris?
He's got as bad a case uglies as you can get. He's got aggravated uglies. Pretty funny, huh, FL?
He's got ugly he hasn't even used yet.
Well, so much for the jokes.
Jokes!
Certainly, we were just kidding, FL.
Fearless leader to you, bad enough?
Of course, fearless leader, I wouldn't presume.
This is the end for you, bad enough.
Oh, boy.
And as for that recorder, take that. And that. There, how do you like that?
Ooh, I guess he didn't like it.
Now what, Boris?
What else? We run like rabbits.
Good idea.
On second thought, we take secret formula with us.
You mean steal it?
Why not?
Funny, I can't think of a reason.
And the two villains dashed off with the precious tape recording.
Meanwhile, back on the boat.
The chief do yet?
2 minutes late.
Everything set?
Check. Got the moose tied and gagged.
Right.
Got the squirrel tied and gagged.
Right.
Funny thing.
What?
Chief isn't usually late.
You're right, that's funny.
Funny, all right.
Ha, ha.
You know, usually the narrator says, and suddenly a familiar figure entered the room, and like that, then the chief shows up.
I know.
Joe, only one thing.
What?
We tied and gagged the narrator, too. Better take the tape off his mouth.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we stop the plot.
Ben. Might be a good idea.
Joe?
Yeah.
You're a scream. Ha, ha. Rip the tape off his mouth.
Right.
No!
One thing we forgot.
Yeah?
He has a mustache.
No. Had a mustache.
And just then, a familiar figure entered the room. Hello, Chief.
Well, I'd say you got him. Good work, fellows.
Good heavens, it's Captain Peachfuzz.
My goodness, what happened to your lip?
We'll find out next time in the Missing Mustache. Our hair today, gone tomorrow.
Once upon a time, there was a young prince who ventured into the woods in search of game. Somehow, during the course of the day, he became lost, for he found himself in a part of the forest where he had never been before. He was tired and hungry, and it was growing very late. Just then, he saw a light, and there, a short distance away, stood a great castle. Rushing up the path, he knocked on the huge door.
If you're selling weird story magazines, we don't want any. Go away.
Wait. I am a handsome prince who has lost his way. Could you spare a 32-course feast in a master bedroom for the night?
A prince? Well, in that case, come in. You're just in time for dinner.
Taking the lad by the hand, the king led him inside. When they entered the main dining room, the prince was shocked at what he saw. There were 7 chickens sitting around the table, and they, along with the king, proceeded to peck away at the dishes of corn that sat before them.
Eat, boy, eat. What's the matter? You haven't pecked a thing on your plate.
I'm suddenly not hungry.
Oh, that's too bad. Now, what's that, Florence? Oh, this is very funny.
What happened?
Florence just told a joke.
That's all.
Son, I'm glad you came along. I've got a problem.
Yes, I noticed that.
The king went on to tell the prince an incredible tale of how a witch had come to his castle one dark day and cast an evil spell that had turned all his loving daughters into chickens.
Oh, so that's it. Those chickens 7 are your daughters.
No, 6 of the chickens are my daughters. The 7th one is the witch herself.
And here comes the plot.
Right you are. The spell on my daughters cannot be broken until I can discover which of the 7 chickens is the witch.
Well, now, this is the sort of thing that all handsome princes wait for. The next morning, he got up with the chickens and set about his task.
It's no use, my boy. Chickens have a nasty habit of looking just alike.
Well, that's true, but they don't think alike. The one that's the witch thinks like a witch.
With a plan in mind, the prince soon had disguised himself as a beautiful maiden.
Your mascara is running, and what's the plan?
Simple. I pretend like I'm Snow White. There isn't a witch in the world that can resist a setup like that. Watch this.
Lining up the 7 chickens, the prince, in his Snow White suit, ran through the courtyard proclaiming to the top of his voice,
I am Snow White. I do so hope that any witch around here that is disguised as a chicken won't give me a poison apple.
None of the 7 chickens paid the slightest bit of attention. But an ogre that happened to be casing the castle did. He saw that this was a chance to cop what he thought was a fair maiden, which he wasted no time in doing. But just then, a handsome knight chanced to arrive on the scene and rushed to the rescue.
Never fear, fair beauty. I shall save you.
With that, the knight flew at the ogre. The prince was saved and his troubles were over. Almost.
Ah, fair maiden, you are truly lovely.
I know, but knock it off, knight. I'm not a maiden.
Your eyes, your lips, your...
Okay, you asked for it.
Ah, the lady has fire. Wait, dear one, wait, come back.
The prince was not used to running with a dress on, but he did manage to make it back to the castle well ahead of the pursuing knight.
What happened?
Never mind. Help me out of this fair maiden disguise before anything else happens.
But before they could do this, the 7 chickens came clucking into the courtyard and gathered round the prince to see what the commotion was.
Girls, not now. Go away.
The prince grabbed a broom and started swinging to shoo them away. All chickens being afraid of brooms, they scattered like, chickens. That is all but one. That chicken snatched the broom from the prince, hopped on, and flew it around and around.
Your Highness, look at that.
Must say I never saw a chicken do that before.
Of course not. Only witches fly brooms, so that's the chicken that is a witch.
The prince had guessed the secret, and the spell was broken. Not only did the witch turn back into a witch, but the 6 chickens were turned back into the king's beautiful daughters.
Party pooper!
My boy, you did it. As a reward, I'm going to give you a chest of gold and any daughter you wish to be your bride.
Heavens, it's going to be hard to choose. They're all so beautiful.
Unfortunately, however, before he could make up his mind, the knight, who still thought the prince was a fair maiden, galloped in and swept him off his feet.
Now, lovely one, you and I, we fly away together. Up and away!
No.
Well, now, needless to say, the poor prince did not get the chest of gold, and he was never to get one of the beautiful daughters to be his bride. Of course, his mother had told him that there would be days like that, but she had forgotten to warn him about the nights.
For all of you who want to become tigers in the field of journalism, here is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, copycats. Today's subject is how to be a star reporter.
In order to be star reporter, you got to bring back scoop.
You can count on me, Chief.
Here is hot scoop. Cover big boat fire at Pier 12.
Are you sure there's a boat on fire, Chief?
Positive. I lit it this morning on my way to the office.
Running up the gangplank of the burning boat, you rush down into the hold, where you find the fire burning merrily. This will be the hottest story of the year. Grabbing a nearby can of water, spelled G-A-S, you dash it into the flames and await results. Hello, Chief. About that fire.
Got another scoop for you. Rush over to zoo. His 2-day-old tiger cub smoking cigar.
Are you sure there's a 2-day-old tiger cub smoking a cigar?
Positive. I lit it this morning on my way to the office.
Dashing to the zoo, you rush into the cage, clearly marked Tiger. E-L-E-P-H-A-N-T, Tiger. Once inside, you proceed to spank the 2-day-old tiger, which weighs 40 tons and is smoking the longest cigar you have ever seen. Hello, Chief. About that 2-day-old tiger.
Never mind that. Come back to office. Is man about to jump off roof?
Are you sure, Chief?
I ought to be. It's me.
At last you are to get your scoop.
And did you get your scoop, Mr. Know-It-All?
I certainly did. I stopped off at an ice cream parlor and got 2 of them. See? Tutti Frutti and Pistachio.
Hello again, Peabody here. The youngster depositing milk in a cowboy hat is my boy Sherman.
You're right, Mr. Peabody. It is a 10-gallon hat.
I'm glad you're convinced. Put the hat in the refrigerator while I set the way-back controls.
Where are we going today?
Texas.
To get another hat?
No, to meet those stalwart right arms of frontier justice, the Texas Rangers. A twist of the dial to the year 1879 was enough to send us rocketing back through time and space until there we were inside the governor's mansion, which should have been in Texas, but was in those days somewhere near Springfield, Missouri. The governor was in conference with Captain R.J. Hotchkiss.
How long have you been out on the road trying to sign recruits for your Rangers, Captain?
6 years.
How many did you sign up?
1.
And that one was a girl, wasn't it?
That's what they tell me.
Well, I'm afraid the idea of forming a Texas Ranger outfit is a waste of time.
No, it isn't, Governor.
Well, it certainly is if we can't get anybody to join.
You leave it to us. We'll form the Texas Rangers.
The governor not only gave us his blessing, but his seat on the overland stage, which enabled us to get to the city of Laredo, which in those days was somewhere near Newark, New Jersey.
Well, Sonny, as you can see, the streets of Laredo are full of cowpokes who ain't got nothing to do. How you propose to get them to join up?
Like this, Captain.
To the captain's amazement and my amusement, Sherman walked down the dusty street on his hands.
Hey, kid, where'd you learn to do that?
I got it from the Texas Rangers.
And so it went until when he got back to us, he had 22 cowboys with him.
Hey, the kid here says if we become Texas Rangers, you'll show us how to walk on our hands. Is that so?
Say it's so, Captain. We'll teach you, and you can teach them.
Yep, it's so.
Well, it seems Sherman had solved the problem with great alacrity, so we adjourned to the nearest cafe for lunch while Captain Hotchkiss prepared to induct the men. The lunch was good, but what we saw through the cafe window wasn't.
Look, Mr. Peabody, it's a wagon full of hurt cowboys.
That's a Western ambulance, Sherman, and those hurt cowboys look familiar. Dashing outside, we halted the vehicle. Those men are supposed to be Texas Rangers. What happened to them?
Some dang fool named Hotchkiss went and pinned badges on them.
What's wrong with that?
He made them take their shirts off before he'd done it.
Recruiting Rangers in Laredo was now out of the question, so we boarded the stage for San Antonio, which in those days was just south of Walla Walla, Washington.
Well, I did just like you told me. I got me some clues so I could stick badges on Rangers.
You going to perform some more hand-walking, Sherman?
No, this time I think I'll try something else.
When it came to blowing bubblegum, Sherman was undoubtedly the second best in the world. I don't have to tell you who was first. At any rate, Sherman walked down the streets of San Antonio, blew bubbles in all assorted shapes and sizes, including a definite likeness of a certain moose, who shall remain nameless on this portion of the show.
Likewise, I'm sure.
And by the time he returned to Captain Hotchkiss, Sherman had collected 10 Ranger prospects.
Say, this little fella here with the talented lips says that if we join the Ranger outfit, you'll show us how to blow bubbles like him. Is that true?
Tell him it's true, Captain.
Yep, it's true.
Hotchkiss was about to glue the badges on and swear the men in when a piece of paper fell from his hip pocket and caught Sherman's attention.
Wanted, the Dallas Kid and his 9 rustlers. That's funny, Mr. Peabody. The Dallas Kid and his men look just like the new Rangers.
I stopped the ceremony just in time.
That's right, I'm the Dallas Kid. We was going to get the bubble gum and then revert back to our usual criminal nature. That blasted, I thought it was too good to be true.
Mr. Dallas, are you a good shot?
Am I a good shot? If anybody here can outshoot me, me and my boys will sign up to be Rangers.
Well, that, of course, left it up to me. We adjourned to a target area and prepared to take our shots. It was then I thought of a brilliant idea. Dallas, I won't even have to shoot to outshoot you. I venture to say that you can't even hit the aforementioned target.
Oh, yeah? Shucks, I could do that standing on one toe.
That's a pretty big target, Mr. Peabody.
And these are pretty big bullets I'm putting into this gun. Here, Dallas, try your luck. Dallas took the weapon, aimed, and fired. The bullet went straight for the target, but just before hitting it, made a 180-degree turn and returned to Dallas.
You win, Peabody. Me and my boys are going lawful.
How come he couldn't hit the target, Mr. Peabody?
Quite elementary, Sherman. I took the precaution of writing the words Dallas Kid on the bullet. And you know what happens when a bullet's got your name on it. An hour later, Captain Hotchkiss and his Rangers rode out of town.
Did the Dallas Kid make a good Ranger?
Oh, one of the best, Sherman. But he became even more famous after he retired. You see, he built an amusement park and called it Wonderland. It became so famous they even wrote a book about it.
Really, Mr. Peabody?
Well, of course, Sherman. Haven't you ever read Dallas in Wonderland?
see what the score is today, shall we? Phyllis Leader is lying unconscious beside the tape recorder, which struck back at him. Boris and Natasha are running away with a tape recording of the formula for the silent explosive Hush-a-Boom. And our heroes have been tied and gagged by a couple of mysterious strangers acting under orders from the chief. None other than our old friend, Captain Peter Peachfuzz.
What's the matter, Bullwinkle? Cat got your tongue?
Do we let him go now, Chief?
Well, naturally.
But as the gag was removed from Rocky's mouth, he said...
Hey, what's the big idea? Who are these fellas? And what's all this about a secret formula? How come we
fellas.
got tied and
Yeah,
gagged?
Chief.
What happened to
Put
the
it
keys
back.
Why haven't you...
Try the other one. Ooh! Hello, Bullwinkle. I said, hello, Bullwinkle. Well, didn't you hear me?
Sure, but I don't want to get gagged up again.
Yes, I know, Rocky, but...
Chief,
Yes, Joe.
we've got to take the gag off the squirrel now.
Oh, the SPCA calling again?
No, we need the gag for another show.
What show?
The Unspeakables.
Oh, I didn't know they did comedy.
Sorry, squirrel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. You were just doing your duty.
You know, Ben?
Yeah.
He's a true blue squirrel.
Salt of the earth.
Nature's nobleman.
Gets you right here.
Let's go.
Right.
Goodbye.
Gee, those fellas are sure deadpan.
I don't know. That goodbye was a little hammy.
And now on to recover the stolen formula.
Yeah, on! This way!
Now, wait a minute. We can't all go in different directions.
But how do we decide where to go?
Easy. Come in here a minute.
And the captain led our heroes into the next room where there stood an enormous electronic machine.
Hokey smoke.
It's the Peter Peachfuzz Polar Path Predictor Patent Pending. It tells you what direction to go in.
Well, how does it work?
Well, I put a nickel in this end and...
Boy, that's pretty impressive.
Hush! It's about to give us the answer.
Answer? That's your nickel, Captain.
Yes, and it's heads. We go this way.
And strange as it seems, our friends headed in a beeline straight for an old abandoned warehouse, which just happened to be the secret hideout of Boris and Natasha.
Well, darling, you ready to put together the first batch of Hush-a-Boom?
You said it. Start tape machine.
The next voice you hear will be Moose hiccuping and reciting formula.
And as he recites, I mix ingredients. Go. Hold it!
Darling, what happened?
I think I mixed a little too fast, Natasha. Slow it down.
Sorry, darling. Here goes. Don't tell me, darling.
A little too slow.
Third time's the charm, Boris.
I hope not.
NH3, CO2, U235, and a pinch of salt.
Aha!
This has been a recording.
Who cares? Natasha, I got it here. Hush-a-boom.
And just in time, darling. Look.
Yes, outside the warehouse, our three friends were closing in rapidly.
Well, what can be closed in can be closed out.
And Boris prepared to drop his lethal test tube right on top of our heroes. Don't miss our next episode, Boom at the Top, or Bullwinkle loses his head.
Well, I guess that about wraps up another Rocky show.
Certainly hope you enjoyed it. I did. I always say.
Bullwinkle, time for us to go.
Already? Okay, but first, here are some of the people who made this show impossible.
That's not all.
The fingers get tired. Oop! Got away from me again.
Well, see you next time. Ready, Bullwinkle? Alley!
Oop!